Okay. So let's try this again.
I know we're going to have to reference this one often, so.
Where can y'all see it? I can't see it. Okay, there, wait. There we go. Okay, so who is feeling stressed, overwhelmed, burnt out, distracted, or not sure what to work on when you get started? So these are all things that like I was struggling with that led me to like, I need to change. I need to find a fix. So why is time management important? So like we just mentioned before, less stressed, multiplying our time, can be more intentional with our time, being proactive versus reactive with our time. So the idea is that when you're not kind of prepared or like thinking through your time beforehand, the things that are coming at you with your day, like you're just reacting to them all day long. And I definitely was doing that versus being proactive. How our downlines view the way we use our time impacts them. And so for one thing, if they are seeing us working all of the time and on our phones all of the time, that's communicating to them. That's what it means to be a leader and that you have to do that. I don't want people to look at my poor use of time and think that they couldn't be a director because they're going to have to sell their soul to UBAM. And because that's not true. It was me not using my time well. So I don't want to turn people off from doing big things in the business because I am not doing it well. We do this for more time with our family. So I want to give them more time. I want to be focused when I'm with them, just on them. And when I'm on my work, I want to be focused on my work and present with whatever I'm doing. And we can teach and encourage our team with this. So many of us struggle with this. Let's work smarter, not harder. And when you put your self-esteem in we put our self-esteem in our work habits, not the production. So by building these habits, the production is going to get there. Okay, so we're going to do a little prep work to work on our time management. So the first thing we are going to be doing, and this is one of the resources, is a time awareness log. And so ideally you would do this for 21 days, but maybe just first start like, okay, I'm going to do it for this next week. And you are going to log everything you do all day long from when you get up to when you go to bed. So if it's like checking in on messages, setting up a party, scroll through Instagram for 10 minutes or 20 or whatever. You are going to start to see how you use your time, when you're being productive, where you are wasting your time, and most importantly, be honest. And so nobody else is seeing these, and like you're not going to be judged for it, but it is going to be very eye-opening for you, especially when you have to write down, I scrolled on Instagram for 10 minutes. Like that is super convicting, especially when it's like the time I want to be with my kids and I'm just scrolling on Instagram like, ooh. So for me, just starting to do this, it was very like, whoa. These are the times that like I'm just wasting my time. I mean, and it's fine too if you want to have times like in your day that like you do want like fun social media time, but just being like mindful of when you're going to do that. Okay. So one of the little things that we're going to be kind of scheduling in is a golden hour. And so part of that, of your golden hour, the idea is working, like utilizing your time. The most valuable asset we have is time. And so golden hour comes, like the idea of it is creating momentum during those times. And so your golden hour being focused and prepared. And so, like, for instance, for a lot of us, it's probably nap time. That's going to be like our golden hours that we can really focus, or maybe it's after when your kids are in bed, but being prepared to go into those golden hours. So whenever you are working on things, like, you know exactly what you're going to be working on, and you have goals. And so you're just making the most of that time. And so some keys to creating momentum during your golden hour. So schedule it on your calendar so you know when it's happening. So it's the most important part of your day. So not wasting a second during those golden hours. So even like going to the bathroom beforehand, if you want a snack for that, like already having it, your water, whatever. So you're not having to get up. Like, you have all of your stuff right there. So as soon as that golden hour time starts, you're ready to start. Eliminate all possible distractions. So for us, it might not be turning off email alerts. It's probably going to be messenger alerts, which if you have your messenger alerts on your phone, turn them off right now. Your life is going to be changed. Turn them off. And I know for some of y'all, it's like, but what if somebody needs me? You're teaching your downline bad habits. You're not being fair to your family, to yourself. So we are going to want to schedule the times that we're answering messages. Turn your alerts off. During your golden hours, like, this is not when you're checking Messenger, unless for part of that you have scheduled from this time to this time, I'm checking messages. Don't answer questions during this time, and don't take personal calls. Okay, and so next we want to start thinking about what we need to do in our day. And so first, you've started to like log your time, and you're seeing the things that you're spending your time on, but also starting to make a list of the things that you want to have in your day. What do you want to schedule in your day? What are the things that you need to get done in a week? And so our rocks are our must-do items, the things that just you can do that are time dependent. And so like your Facebook parties might be a rock. Pebbles are the things like you should be doing, but maybe they are not time dependent. You can kind of be flexible with that. Like a Facebook party is going to happen at 8:30 on Thursday night or whenever you schedule it, but you have more flexibility with those pebbles. And then sand is going to be things that if you have time, you should do those. And even going as far, like if you went to schedule like when you were going to do certain cleaning things, when you were going to run to the grocery store, like all of those things that you want to make time for in a week, we want to find a place for those. And so planning using our rocks and pebbles, first we're going to put our big rocks in, and like our big things we really want to try to get done in the morning. But like appointments we already have set, like our parties, leader Zooms, coaching calls, maybe it's taking your kids to and from school, like the things that you have to do, they're time dependent. And then next, we're going to fill in our pebbles, like checking in with our central group and downline leaders, answering questions, party follow-up, wish list, checking numbers, bookings, whatever are the things that you are doing that you need to fill in with your schedule, with your business, prospecting, bookings. Okay, and so this is the other resource, but your like weekly schedule that we're going to start to fill in. And this is mine that I'm still working on. And two, like the last couple weeks, so this is my third week doing it, and I'm like still like learning and kind of growing, and like what are the things that like maybe like a schedule, but yeah, that's not really working there. And so giving yourself kind of some grace with that, because when I know when you initially see this, it's like, whoa. Especially like maybe for a goal, it's like that feels more natural. But I know for myself, it was feeling very overwhelming. But as I'm getting into it more, it's giving me a little more like freedom. And like today, for instance, was a pretty packed day. I had a couple presentations and Zooms to do. I had a coaching call. This is my fourth Zoom of the day. And so previously I would have felt super overwhelmed. But going into the day of already having the things scheduled and knowing when I was going to be working on certain things, like it gave me so much freedom and relief. Okay, so with our schedule, we want to carve out time weekly to make the schedule. So, for instance, like on Sunday, maybe that is your time that you take like 30 minutes and you start filling out your schedule, like the things that you know already have. And like, then even like going through, okay, if I have my party on Thursday, like I already know, you know, which day I'm doing whatever steps for my party. Like you can be filling those things in. The days that you are going to be checking with your downline leaders or your central group. If you have somebody launching, like you can put the steps that they're on. So carve out time at the beginning of your week to start filling all of that in. And that's part of that being proactive versus reactive. Since you already have it on there, you already are like thinking through. So you're going into Monday without like everything just coming at you. Make your schedule visible. So printing it out and like having it on your workspace or your fridge or wherever. But like keeping it there visible. I also like to leave mine up on my computer screen too. So if I have my laptop somewhere else, I can look and like, oh, this is what I should be doing right now. During like your golden hours, not doing any errands or kind of trivial work during that critical time, really making the most of that time. Making sure that you have enough time blocked for activities. And so this is part of like kind of like learning with it and seeing like, okay, maybe I allowed too much time at this point that I didn't need. And maybe this time of my day, I need to schedule more time for that. Maybe in the mornings, I need more time to do messages or whatever. But, you know, giving yourself like grace to kind of like figure that out. And that's part of also like thinking of your schedule as it's living and breathing. It's not something like, it's not like set in stone. Like you have freedom to put different things on your schedule to make it work for you. Ultimately, we want this to be the ideal schedule for you in your life. And so giving yourself freedom to change those things. If something's not working, that's okay. Let's change it to make it work. And think of it as like your high school schedule. So, you know, when that bell would ring and you go to the next class, like then you'd start on that next thing. So even like thinking of like your time blocks in there the same way, like, okay, this time is over. Now it's my family time and I'm putting my phone away. And don't become overly attached to the results. So it's part of like building those habits. And those habits are going to like have the results in the long run. So sometimes when we're doing stuff right now, we're not going to see it till down the line. And habits are directly resulting from your schedule. So, you know, like those things that we were wanting to get in the habit of doing like weekly or daily or things like that, by putting it in the schedule, it's going to help us to do all of those things. Okay, so these are all my slides. I know I just threw a lot at y'all at once. These are like all the things I've been working through the past month, but wanted to give you guys kind of an overview and can kind of talk through some of these things more. I know the schedule is really scary because previously I'd seen other people's and was like, whoa, I can't do that. That's a lot. But it's been great. I mean, still like it. Still learning from it, but it's good. So I'll say, don't knock it till you try it. Okay, I'm going to, do y'all want me to leave the share up? Let me see if I can see the chat.
Okay, so for somebody who's like starting this, like right today, we're going to start. What would be like the first step? Like what should we do first?
Okay, so first thing you're going to, I'll go to the slide. We're going to start with your time awareness log. And you are going to, at least for this week, I'm going to encourage you to try to do it longer. But at least for this week, log everything that you're doing. So that's going to start giving you ideas of like what you need to schedule, but you're also going to start seeing patterns and you are going to become a lot more aware when you are wasting time. And it's okay too. Like if you want to schedule break time, like do that. Like we want to put whatever works for you in your schedule. I mean, you guys could see there was a lot of like personal time in mine. I'm trying to still give you guys my screen, but I don't know if I can minimize this. So first you're going to do your time awareness log to see how you're using your time. From there, we want to start looking at the things that we're going to fill our schedule with. So, like listing the things that you do in a week, whether that's like, I mean, I can show you guys on mine. You know, I have like taking my daughter for school, getting ready for school, cleaning bathrooms. Like I have a lot of personal stuff on there, like dance class. So like the things that we know like always happen, putting that on there. I even have blow dry my hair.
I was literally laughing at that. I know how long it takes you to blow dry your hair. Like that is part of your schedule.
Yeah. You know, like in my perfect world, I'm going to do one load of laundry every day. We're not there yet, but that's my goal. So I'm putting it on my schedule. You know, and like bedtime and all of that. I have The Bachelor on my schedule because that I want to make time for that. And so, you know, I even have like on my week too of like when I'm making my schedule, even like my grocery store order, things like that. So whatever you want on there, like that's great. But we want to start just like listing out those things and kind of like even color coordinating it. So like all of the blue is just kind of like personal time. I'll put some pink on there for Valentine's Day. And green is work time. So like some of my rocks are my dark green time. And then my light green is like my pebbles. So some of the stuff, it doesn't necessarily have to be like done during that time. Like there's some flexibility with that. But you know, like my Facebook party tomorrow, like that's going to happen at that time. So that's why it's my dark green. So for 21 days, I was logging my time on my time awareness log, and then started going through and just like writing all of the things out that I wanted to schedule. And like you're also kind of using that time awareness log too to see like what are the things I'm doing. You know, and being more just like intentional with your time. And so then from there is when you could start building your schedule. And so if you want, you know, like a paper copy, you could print this out and kind of, or like I have a template schedule and then my specific week schedule, if that makes sense. Am I just like throwing way too much at you guys?
No, I think it's really good. Somebody asked what program that you were using to like type it in. Is that Excel or?
Yes. So let me exit from this. Okay, I can even show you guys my schedule. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. And so you'll see like these are, I've like listed out like my rocks and things like that. And I'm just on Google Sheet. So that way too, I send my schedule to my coach on Sunday nights. So I have that accountability that like I'm doing it. So like if you feel like you need accountability, maybe set that up with your team leader. Like, hey, I'm trying to do this, so I'm like committing to sending you my schedule on Sunday nights. So you can say like, hey, it's Monday morning and you didn't send me your schedule. And so, yes, I just did it in Google Sheets. And so I have tabs like of just like my kind of template one that's more basic. And then my weekly one that's more, you know, specific to this week. Like instead of just like on my template, just Thursday nights is like blocked for Facebook parties. But my specific one, you know, it's Valentine's Day. So this Thursday, you know, parties.
I don't see it. Are you showing your Google Slides right now? It might just be mine.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm not. Let's see. Let's try a new share.
It might just be on my end. There it is.
Okay. So yeah, you'll see over here is where I kind of like listed everything out. And then this is where I built it over here. And then
This
again,
is so good.
we're still working on my coaching call today. My coach Jenny was a little more like, okay, well, we want to even get more specific. You know, I'm not seeing like certain things on there. Let's make sure and fill that in. And
so I think this is one thing that that I've been seeing too, like with some of the leaders, is like things like we're forgetting like the customer service follow-ups and like spending time sending messages to get bookings and just little things like that that sometimes we forget about with like the hustle and bustle of everything else. And so I love that that's like your little rocks that then you can put in, but like you have that list off to the side. Yeah, like what Kristen just said, the list to pull from and schedule in.
mm-hmm.
Genius.
Yeah, I mean, and y'all know too, like especially like this time of year, or as your team is growing, it can be really easy to push your personal business to the side or start forgetting about things like booking or being intentional with follow-ups and things like that. So having some of these just like on there, it's been helpful. And still, I'm like, still like refining it and like fine tuning it and like when is the best time for this. You know, and like instead of just having party follow up, my coach today was like, well, when are you doing wish list? And so like making sure to put that on there specifically too. And even like right now, as I'm looking at my list, I'm like, I'm seeing other things I need to add in. So I'll say give yourself grace. Like the first week for sure, it was like, I felt like I had made the schedule and I was like nowhere even like on it or near it, but like give yourself a chance to like form a new habit. Yeah, and that's too it. Like at what's nice too is like at any moment, like you should be able to just like look at your schedule and be like, okay, I need to be working on party prep right now. Or leader Zoom. So and again too, like, and y'all will see in like the personal list, like, you know, there's things like laundry, working out is on there. I probably could delete that because I have no intention of scheduling that. But you know, I made time for the Bachelor, so again, it's whatever is important to you and like what you want to fill it up with. And I really encourage y'all to do the time awareness log. It's really tedious, but it is very revealing and convicting in good ways. And even like as you start doing it, like it's like, you know, you're going to have to write that down. So maybe you're like, well, crap, I'm going to put my phone down because I don't want to write that I know I'm about to spend 20 minutes on Instagram. Like I know it. So I'm just going to stop myself before I even get started. Or like, hey, I scheduled like time with my kids. I want to be intentional with that time. Like I'm going to put my phone down, especially now because I like know I already have all that stuff scheduled that I need to get done. So it's going to give you freedom without like feeling so much like, oh my gosh, I can't do this right now because I know I need to like get all this work done.
I think this was perfect. Alexi, could you even share that Google sheet or like maybe a copy of it or even like a blank one that maybe we could like pull from?
I probably could. I'll have to put it in Playwright.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the one from Southwestern, but I'm sure I could make a copy and just delete everything out.
Okay. We'll see if we can get something. So at least we have something to start with, maybe?
Yeah. You'll like see on the top, success is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every day.
Good times. Okay, any questions for Alexi before we sign off for the night?
And 92, you say you struggle to say no with things, so this will make you remember that you do not have time. Or like on the flip side too, like you can say, hey, let me check my schedule, and you'll be able to see like, yes, I do have time for that, or like, no, I don't. I'm like, I would love to do that. Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I'm afraid. So oranges, don't be scared. Or just low golds, don't be scared. I always say like I'm gold enough that I like crave this sort of thing, but I'm like my gold is low enough that like I just never like knew how to put this into place. Like that part felt so overwhelming. Like if I could have just had somebody be like, here is your schedule and follow it, I would have been like, that's amazing. But like the work to kind of get there is going to help you. Like, so it's not like you don't have to jump straight into this schedule. Start with a time awareness log and like ease into it, you know, and like fine tune it every week. And if something's not working, that's okay. Stick with it, but just like tweak it so it will.
I love it. Thank you, Alexi. That was really helpful. Who's going to go work on this right now? Anyone else? Anyone else?
Just start with logging your time tomorrow. When you get up, just start writing everything down, or even like doing it in a note on your phone. If you have like an Apple, you know, like you can get your note on your phone, but also on your computer. So that's what I would do. I had to send mine to my coach too, so that was probably extra convicting. Because then she would also see like, just playing on social media, binge to watch the TV. Cool.
Maybe we should say everybody has to send it to their leader tomorrow night.
You should.
That'd be fun. Look at Katie's face. Oh man. Okay, perfect. So we will sign off, and then we'll get this video converted. So if you need to share this with any of your maybe downline leaders that weren't able to make it, and then we'll also get the resources to you guys as well, so we can share those. So thank you, Alexi. I really appreciate it. That was very helpful, and I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, it helps you guys too.
Okay, perfect. Well, you guys have a great Tuesday night.